Hello everybody and welcome to my monthly Vietnam update. In March, the VN index increased by 1.8% to 1,284 points, compared to the AFC Vietnam Fund, which closed the month plus 2.3% according to internal estimates. During the month, bank stocks began to trade sideways, prompting investors, especially local retail investors, to explore opportunities in other sectors such as real estate and export-oriented companies. Also, the shift towards mid-cap stocks contributed to the VN index's resilience despite the slight decline in banking stocks, leading to an overall gain in the benchmark index. Hi, my name is Andreas Vogelsanger. I'm the CEO of the AFC Vietnam Fund. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in order not to miss any updates. Thank you. Despite facing challenges such as the state bank's withdrawal of money supply and the president's resignation, the market has displayed remarkable resilience. This resilience was evident in the market's ability to swiftly rebound following sharp declines in the index. Additionally, the market's resilience is supported by the strong liquidity and the prevailing low interest rate environment. Furthermore, the VN Index current position above its 200-day moving average indicates a positive technical outlook for the market. Export stocks experienced significant growth in March, building up on impressive results observed in the first 2 months of the year, particularly within the furniture sector. As previously mentioned in our February 2024 report, export growth across various sectors was notable, with furniture exports in particular experiencing a remarkable 74% increase to reach $2.4 billion in January and February combined. This positive momentum continued to bolster furniture exporters throughout March. Vietnam has experienced negative export growth only twice in the last 20 years, in 2009 and 2023. In both instances, export growth strongly rebounded and accelerated rapidly post-recovery. Therefore, we remain confident in the export sector's resilience and growth potential, underscoring our strategic investment direction. As emphasized in our previous reports, our decision to maintain an underweight position in banks is rooted in our cautious approach towards the sector's non-performing loan or short NPL ratio. Despite the rapid growth observed in bank stocks during the first 2 months of the year, we remain committed to prioritizing investments in the resilient and confirmed recovery of the export sector. However, we plan to reassess our strategic approach to banking stocks following the announcement of the first quarter 2024 results in the latter half of April 2024. At this juncture, we will conduct a comprehensive analysis to determine the most suitable course of action regarding potential investments in this sector. While the first quarter of 2024 has been challenging, our track record over the past few years, or even since our inception more than 10 years ago, underscores our consistent ability to outperform the index. This steadfast performance reaffirms our confidence in our investment approach and our unwavering commitment to delivering robust returns to our investors over the long term. 2021 was the second year of the COVID-19 pandemic, but it was our record year with a net performance of the AFC Vietnam Fund of plus 55.61% net to investors, while the VN Index in US dollar terms over the same period achieved a performance of plus 37.35%. 2022 was a terrible year, with intense corruption investigations and arrests of high-ranking government officials and business magnates. Also, the State Bank of Vietnam targeted real estate developers who issued corporate bonds and illegally sold them to retail investors. In that year, the AFC Vietnam Fund lost 18.84%, while the VN Index in US dollar terms over the same period lost 35.08%. 2023 was still a challenging year, especially for an export-oriented economy like Vietnam. There were challenges due to significantly lower consumption in Europe and the US due to inflation and recession fears. However, the Vietnamese economy began to improve gradually towards the end of 2023, with export numbers showing positive growth again. In 2023, the AFC Vietnam Fund achieved a return of 9.02%, while the VN Index in US dollar terms over the same period achieved a return of 9.26%. The recent resignation of Vietnam's President Pho Phan Thuong and the appointment of Vice President Pho Thi Anh Xuan as acting president has sparked concern among various international political and economic institutions. However, for several reasons, we believe that this event has limited impact on Vietnam's economic strategy and outlook. Firstly, it's important to note that major economic and political policies in Vietnam are determined by the 18-member Party Central Committee rather than a single individual. Therefore, changes in leadership at the presidential level are unlikely to significantly alter the country's overall direction or policies. Secondly, the president's role in Vietnam is primarily symbolic. He or she represents moral values through public image rather than holding substantial political or economic power. As such, change in presidency is unlikely to have a substantial impact on Vietnam's economic strategy or trajectory. Overall, while President Pho Phan Thuong's resignation may have raised concerns among some international observers, we believe that the fundamental drivers of Vietnam's economic policies and outlook remain intact, guided by broader institutional structures and collective decision-making processes within the Party Central Committee. Well, it looks we are one step closer to a market upgrade to emerging market status in Vietnam. The State Securities Commission of Vietnam has introduced a draft circular proposing amendments and supplements to existing regulations governing the securities transactions and information disclosure in the stock market. Key revisions outlined in the draft include the removal of the pre-funding requirements for foreign institutional investors, clarification on handling investors' shortage of funds, and language requirements for information disclosure. The proposed regulatory change aimed to address barriers hindering the Vietnamese stock market's progression from a frontier market to emerging market status, particularly pre-funding requirements and English language disclosures. While the draft circular is a step in the right direction, several issues still require clarification, such as standardizing agreement terms, implementing penalty mechanisms for non-payment, and sharing the quality of investor payment records. Despite these concerns, the draft circular reflects the authorities' commitment to resolving market issues. This positive development, coupled with the anticipated launch of the KRX trading system this year, is expected to bolster the market sentiment and liquidity. Stock brokerage companies, Viet Capital, predict that leading securities firms with strong capital will be primarily beneficiaries of these advancements. In our report from October 2022, we highlighted the arrest of Mrs. Truong Mai Lan, the chairwoman of Van Tin Pat, a prominent real estate group. This event had a significant impact on the market at the time, contributing to further declines throughout the year. After more than a year of investigations, the Fantin Pat court case commenced in March 2024 and is anticipated to conclude at the end of April 2024. We believe that this event is already priced into the market and hence we don't see any major impact. The severity of the situation is underscored by the political consequences facing Mrs. Tuong My Lam, with allegations of substantial losses amounting to approximately $20 billion, equivalent of around 5% of Vietnam's GDP, incurred by investors and Saigon Commercial Bank. She may potentially face the death penalty. If such a verdict is reached and finalized, it would serve as a significant deterrent against similar cases in the future, aiming to prevent and eliminating such egregious financial misconduct within the industry. Well, this is all from me. Thank you very much for listening. You're gonna hear from me again next month with another update. Thank you and goodbye.